Hey guys, Ben here. Welcome back to another live stream. Today we are doing a special live stream. We have some very special guests that are going to be joining me. We've got a lot of topics to talk about. Obviously, we did live stream yesterday, but this is going to be a very different stream. We've got a lot of different topics to talk about with a lot of guests. We actually have a total of like 4, maybe 5 guests to come. So, yeah, there is a lot of stuff we have to discuss throughout this live stream, but I just want to remind you guys, if you want to participate in this live stream with us, please be sure to send in super chats. And super chats is the best way to properly interact with us. We will be answering some of your questions that you send in the chat, in the normal chat. But if you send in super chats, we'll be sure to answer you live on stream. I will pop you up just like this, or just like Flash Freak. Shout out Flash Freak. And yeah, so then you're going to be able to participate and you'll be supporting the channel whilst you do it. So yeah, without further ado, let me introduce our guests and then we'll get into our main topics of today. So Nathan is here.
Hello.
You guys know Nathan. Tom is here.
Hello.
Flush Freak is here.
Hello.
Plus also
Anna is restarting her device.
Okay, cool. So we have a very special guest today, Super Violet, aka Anna. She's going to be joining us today, and she's just figuring out what's going on with her computer right now. But these guys are all here to discuss the latest DCTV news with you guys in terms of Superman, Lois, The Flash, and everything else. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to pop people off, and I'm going to add the first person who is going to be going over their topics first off. And so, yeah, we'll just go bit by bit, topic by topic. This is how we normally do our member streams, and this is a member stream. So if you want to become a member of the channel and feature on the channel on a member stream, please be sure to send in, to click the join button. That's what I meant. I don't know why I said send in. Click the join button, which is next to the subscribe button, and become a member, and you can join in on the next one. No problem, Cal. Thank you for being a member as always. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Kater may join later on in the stream, another member. That's very true, Flashverse. Goldface will come for you if you don't become buy merch or, you know, send in super chats. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. So I'm going to bring in Danny first off. Danny is going to be talking about Superman... what was that? Superman Lois's latest episode. So what's up, Flash Freak?
Nothing much. It's good to be here.
Yeah, good to be here with you. And so Flash Freak wants to talk about Superman Lois, even though the Flash is in his name. Anyway, we can be fans of all the different shows. But yeah, so most of you guys who are watching right now have seen the latest episode of Superman Lois. It came out just not last night, but the night before. A lot went down. This is going to be spoiler territory. So if you haven't watched the episode, you've been warned. We're going to get into this. So Danny, what stood out to you in this episode of Superman Lois?
Well, it's really just ever since the previous episode, just the emotional aspect of Lois being diagnosed with cancer, and I'll expose myself here. The episode was making me tear up.
Well, I feel like it did make a lot of us tear up, or at least get on the verge of being, you know, I think we can all say that it got us emotional, right?
It did. Especially the scene from 2 episodes ago where she told the kids about it. But yeah, this episode really made me emotional. Was just, I mean, Bitsy Tolick really, I say, I in my opinion, she deserves an award,
I think,
for this season.
Yeah, she's so good. Like every season, every episode she's in, she just, you know, properly gives it her all, and she really has made her mark as Lois Lane so far. And I think these 3 episodes have been huge. Like, I think she's been the clear standout. Am I right?
And I also just wanted to point out too, the VFX this season is just amazing.
Insane.
With the Daily Planet scene with the building collapsing was amazing. I mean, it doesn't look like a CW show.
No, really, and this is what we're saying. Like, it feels feels different. It feels, you know, more real, more not necessarily more grounded because it has CW aspects, but it's more believable. It's less, oh, they're coming up with ideas. You know, it feels like maybe we're watching something that could potentially happen, but there's superheroes there, right? And especially, and of course, we're going to discuss this right now because we're talking about Superman and Lois and the last episode. So, like, you have to see what they've been doing with Lois. And I think the perfect example of what they've been doing and the way that Superman is feeling was at the start of this episode, and it was repeated later in the episode, was the fact that Clark is having these nightmares. And the nightmares is he can't figure out where Lois is. He's basically unable to save her. And like you said, the CGI in that scene was amazing as well, as he goes falling Metropolis and, you know, he can't find Lois, but when he does, it's too late. You know, the Daily Planet's about to fall on her, and it's just the perfect kind of, you know, metaphor for, you know, the fact that Superman is actually helpless when really he's a superpowered being. He's a superhero. He can save people from, you know, burning buildings, from absolutely anything, but he can't save them from themselves being just humans, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You want to talk about that a bit?
Yeah. So I also think it's a good metaphor with that scene how, you know, we saw throughout the episode how Clark was really trying to get Lois to go to therapy because she kept on missing it.
Yeah.
And as Kyle says, it was probably because she didn't want to admit she was sick.
Yeah.
But Clark is feeling helpless, so he wants to do anything he can do to help her. So
Yeah, just by showing up.
how the kids made breakfast for her. They gave her that watch, and even Clark went with her, but we see him trying to balance being Superman, but being a husband and trying to help Lois. And it was interesting there was he wanted to be there for the chemo, but he had to, you know, go out and save the day. So it
you know, it's just really emotional right now on Superman Lois, and I feel like it's hitting a lot of people in ways that I think, you know, the Arrowverse hasn't hit people. You know, it's sad when people die in the Arrowverse, when it's happened before, like Martin Stein from Legends and the Flash. When he, you know, when he died, that was sad. When Oliver died, that was sad. You know, when Laurel died, that was sad. But this is different because this isn't superheroes. Sort of like superhero action. Like Lois hasn't died by a supervillain. She's just like, you know, she's still alive, but it's an incurable, to a certain extent, thing that she's having to deal with. So yeah, it's very, you know, it's like a tough situation for Superman. Anyway, so yeah, I think that does it for this segment. I'm gonna bring in someone else. We'll talk more Superman Lois later to do with the Superman twist at the end of the episode. So I think we'll all discuss that together. So yeah, thanks Flash Freak, and see you in a minute. All right, guys. So I want to remind you, please be sure to send in any super chats if you want to support the channel, but also get featured on the stream as we discuss all your topics or theories or anything you want to ask us. It can be off topic, it can be on topic. It's completely up to you guys. And so for now, thank you very much to Eddie Hill, who sent in a $1 super chat. I appreciate the super chat. And yeah, thanks for joining. If you have a question, Eddie, please be sure to send it in and we'll definitely be sure to answer you. I really appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, that's the reminder, and become a member if you're not a member, and you can join our next members live stream. So next person that we have up next is Nathan. So we're going to be discussing The Flash with Nathan. Probably we're going to talk about The Flash and its latest episode that aired last night. That's going to be a thing we discuss towards the end of the stream when we bring in everyone, because that's something we should discuss together with the mini Supergirl crossover. But yeah, so for now, I'm going to bring in Nathan and we're going to discuss his topic, which is to do with Cobalt Blue and the ending of The Flash. All right, Nathan's here.
Hello.
Welcome, Nathan. All right, let's get into your topic. So Nathan wants to discuss Cobalt Blue's plan, what it really is, and what his endgame is by the end of the season and the final graphic novel. So yeah, and hi Sarah, nice to see you. Okay, let's go, Nathan. Let's start discussing this.
Okay, so I've been thinking about it quite a bit recently since seeing those photos of behind the scenes of the later episodes.
Yep.
And I thought, what would be the point of bringing them people in if it wasn't for damn good reason?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's to torture Barry, because, I mean, two of them villains, killed not one of his parents, but both of his parents.
Yeah.
Being Thorn, or Eobard Thorn, and Zoom. But also Savitar is a corrupted version of him who has lost the love of his life and became such an
neglected
evil...
by Team Flash.
Yeah. And then it kind of hit me that what if Eddie or Cobalt Blue or whichever version he is trying to show Barry that he doesn't deserve any of his life that he has gotten in the last, or any of his life, maybe
9 years.
Because he's gotten so much. He's gotten Iris. He's gotten 2 kids. Obviously, we haven't seen the baby versions of them yet.
Way. Yeah.
But he's gotten so much and stuff that Eddie would have gotten if he hadn't died.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually, it's definitely a motivation.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to link back to season 1 Eddie. Whether it's the Eddie that somehow survived the singularity or not, we'll have to wait and see. This could just be Malcolm Thorne, who is a doppelganger of Eddie. Who knows? We definitely need to discuss that more at a later date. But for now, that's just, there is a couple of ways that it can go down, but definitely, I think you're kind of right with what you're getting at. I feel like Eddie is going to have a reason to go after Barry and, eventually get those other villains like Savitar, Zoom, Reverse Flash, all of the Flash's greatest villains. Because if he just wanted to defeat Barry straight up, I'm pretty sure he could have done that himself. Why did he have to take the effort to go back in time and, or whatever he does and grab these villains and the Flash's greatest villains? It's not going to be just him defeating them. It's going to be all of them. So there's obviously a reason that we don't know right now as to why this team up is happening, right?
Definitely. And I think that when it gets to the so I just saw a page you put when it comes to bear with me, I'm just getting my thoughts in.
Or Eddie?
That's it. Yeah. Completely lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
So I think that if it is Eddie, or even if it is Eddie combined with Malcolm Thorne, I don't think that he's gonna die again. I don't think they're going to do that, because that's such a, if anything, it's kind of like a slap in the face to all the people who've wanted Eddie back for so many years, and also Cobalt Blue. I think if they do go the brother route, which I hope they do, I think Barry will redeem him, and I think they'll have a family moment. I know everyone has a thing about the love fighting and all that stuff, but that was with random villains. This would be a brother that Barry had never met, and it was taken away from him, and he died even without even knowing that he just lost his brother.
Mhm.
And I think when he is in this kind of anger towards Barry, he will try and go back in time to one of the
Rectify
times.
things, or
Yeah, he's gonna try to. Well, at first, he's gonna try and time travel to try and stop Barry from becoming the Flash. I think
you
that's
think?
a guarantee.
Yeah, because we know from behind the scenes, guys, for those of you watching, if you don't know, apparently, we know that we're going to have John Wesley Shipp's going to be back. Michelle Harrison is back. They play Barry's parents, and they were definitely dressed as Barry's parents. And we know that Eddie was there at the same time, so they were all filming, and Barry was also there. But it doesn't make sense because it's definitely back in time, but they're both the present versions of themselves. But Michelle Harrison and John Wesley Shipp are playing Barry's parents, so definitely time travel involved. And
Yeah,
you know,
and I mean, a lot of people have said that, what if Eddie has brought them to the present day as well? Maybe, maybe that's a way of trapping Barry in a.
maybe they both get killed again. Oh my god.
Oh my god, that would be awful.
What
I
happens
really
if
hope that doesn't happen.
Oh, wait, listen. What happens if they actually retcon what happened in season 1 of The Flash? So Barry doesn't chase Reverse Flash back in time, but instead Cobalt Blue takes them to the future, kills Nora in front of them, and that's his ultimate revenge. That's kind of psycho.
Dark.
That is so dark. That's psycho. But imagine something like that happens. We've been expecting this kind of full circle moment to happen at some point. But what happens if they take it even further? They mess up the timeline, and they are doing time travel stuff. So what's to say that they can't mess it up even more and create a new Flashpoint and basically, screw everything over and basically, end the show in a different way?
Do you think they're going to end the show on a possible cliffhanger new Flashpoint, which they'll never ever carry on?
No, I think they'll fix it by the end of the season, but I don't know.
I see. So you think that'll be his plan, is to.
It'll be his plan, and then it fails, and then he gets all the villains. I think I'm not saying that's exactly going to happen. I just think there is a reason why this version of Eddie is back there. And what could it be apart from targeting them, right?
I do
or
think
killing young Barry.
I do think it's really strange how obviously we see it's them down the street, Barry's on the floor, and Joe picks up that crystal. That is the thing that's still rattling me.
Mhm.
And I think I know it's a leap, but I think that crystal holds, because it's a Thorn thing. I know it hasn't been confirmed yet, but if it is the Thorn heirloom,
Yeah,
I think past Eddie, who obviously is in that time frame, or oh no, wait, he wouldn't even be grown up then.
no, he wouldn't. He would still be Barry's age, roughly.
You can see why it's rattled me, because I love time travel stuff, but it's trying to get your head around what the hell are they doing?
Yeah,
because obviously there's future Barry and future Eddie, but it's like, why are they time traveling? What is Eddie up to? And I mean, maybe this is part of the whole bring them to the present thing. But we know that the negative Speed Force hasn't chosen a conduit yet. It hasn't chosen an avatar.
And they might choose Cobalt Blue. Who knows?
Exactly. And I think, what if all the villains that he has, what if they're not actually real? What if they're just constructs?
Manifestations, yeah.
Exactly.
Or that would be kind of a cop out. I really want to see the actual villains, but
Oh no,
yeah,
I mean, that's one possibility that I do not believe, but because I really want them to beat all the villains from the past, because it's gonna be bloody insane.
it's gonna be
But yeah, I really think that by the end of the series, I think Cobalt Blue, Malcolm Thorne, or whatever, I think he will be redeemed. I think he will have the brother moment with Barry.
Yeah.
And
you
I
think that's kind of how they end the show, like not necessarily the ending, but like towards the end.
Well, I can't see the whole chasing Ebod Thorne thing anymore. As much
No,
as
but I see that in a different episode though, because I know
What, so
Matt
you think that happened earlier?
Yeah, Matt Letcher was filming for episode 11 or 12, and Eddie was still around in episode 13, the finale. So I'm pretty sure they're going to wrap up Cobalt Blue in the finale, and I think they might do that Reverse Flash scene in episode 11 or 12. That's my theory.
So you think that Barry will save his younger self and then come back to the future?
Yeah, maybe. If it is Eddie targeting his younger self. Well, again, we don't know that right now, but yeah. Okay, I think that does it for our topic. But I agree with you, Nathan, like in terms of the Flash right now, the way that it handles its villains, it doesn't kill the villains. It pretty much just always tries to redeem them. And obviously a lot of people aren't happy about that, but yeah, it's probably along those lines how they would end.
It's definitely one of the things that Barry is always known for. Oliver's always been known for killing or wounding them. So, it makes sense that Barry tries to redeem them. He has never killed. So
yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Okay. So hopping Nathan off the stream for just a minute. Hi, Michael. Welcome to the live stream. Maya, welcome to the live stream. Good to have you back, and everyone else that has been joining and who is watching with us live. I want to remind you guys again, please be sure to send in super chats if you want to be answered on stream, if you want to support the stream, and get anything answered, whether it's a theory, just a normal topic, or anything. All of us will be sure to answer you guys. So yeah, once again, thank you for the support. And Philip, I see your question. Is Grant going to be the new DCU Flash? Right now, we don't know if that's going to be happening. There is always the chance in the future, but for now, I think if there is a Flash, it will be another version of the Flash. And maybe it's still Ezra. It could be, they could enlist someone as Wally West instead if they want to retcon what they're doing, or just like go away from Barry, I think, for a bit. So that's my answer to that. So thank you for the question. For now, I'm going to go ahead and add Tom in, because this is our last topic before we bring everyone in together, and we're going to be discussing The Flash and Superman Lois this week. So, okay, Tom's question is to do with the future of DCTV. So let me add Tom in. Welcome, Tom.
The Flash movie. You also forgot the Flash movie. Like talking
about the future of DCTV.
Basically covered the movie already. Like I was gonna
Okay. So Tom had two topics. Let's go back to what I was just talking about, the Flash movie future. So what do you think, Tom? What's the future for the Flash?
So there is a rumor, and I don't know how true this is, that Grant is going to appear in the movie. Now, where'd that
rumor come from?
I don't know exactly. I was skimming. I'd searched the Flash. It said, Grant Gustin rumored to be appearing. Now, whether it's the same sort of appearance that he had when Ezra Miller randomly appeared in Crisis, that's yet to be seen. Now,
I think that's more likely.
What I would love to see is like Barry in his current suit telling Ezra, "Oh, this is what my suit does. Like, I have all this in my boots, redirect the energy." Now, whether that influences Ezra's Barry to get the suit that we see with all the yellow lines going through it, that's yet to be seen.
And he has a Flash ring.
Yep.
In the film.
And we've also seen the Dark Flash in Funkos. That looks right. I'm gonna blank out my swear word right now. And that looks very scary. Like the Dark Flash looks monstrous. And I'm literally there going like, I want to watch this movie purely because I want to see how the Dark Flash is going to play out.
Mm-hmm.
Is Dark Flash going to be a Barry that's lost Iris? Is it going to be a Barry which never had his family? Like, how are they going to play the Dark Flash?
Yeah, I'm not like, if I'm guessing how they're going to play Dark Flash, obviously they're going to have Dark Flash in that kind of Reverse Flash role because he's going to be the villain.
I personally would have loved to have seen Reverse Flash as the villain.
I wish it was Reverse Flash. I'm dying to see him.
You know who I honestly would cast as Reverse Flash for this one movie?
Tom Cavanaugh.
Elliot Page.
Yeah, that pretty good actor. So,
and
I don't know.
We know.
Maybe not scary enough though.
No, but we know that he can method act.
That's true. Who else is method actor?
Shia LaBeouf, but he wouldn't be a very good Reverse Flash.
Joaquin Phoenix, the Joker.
Oh no! Yeah. Someone like Michael Shannon's Zod, so we can't have him.
I don't know if I have any like good.
Someone like Charles Dance.
He's way too old to be Reverse Flash.
To be fair,
can't run.
Yeah, but we all know that Grant Gustin literally goes like that for the Flash.
Yeah, like, but are you gonna believe an old man running around?
Yeah, but then, in all fairness, Eobard Thawne has always been portrayed as an older man anyway.
Yeah, but like Tom Cavanaugh's age, like
Hunter
40, 50.
Or Hunter Zolomon.
Yeah.
Considering that in the comics, both of those are names of the Reverse Flash, not just Zoom.
Yeah.
But DCTV wise, obviously, the Arrowverse as we know it is ending with the Flash, which is really, really sad. Like, it's going to be a fitting end for the Arrowverse, but we've got the Superverse taking its place. Now, we've got so many different setups for heroes. We've got Natalie, Jordan, Jonathan, all these new young heroes coming into the forefront. But what are we going to see them do? Like, if Superman and Lois gets cancelled for this season, we're going to get Jordan getting his powers fully to the level he wants them at. Natalie getting a suit purely for nothing. So I think the CW need to make a season 4. Need to make a season 4. Then literally after season 4, James Gunn goes, right, HBO Max, Superman and Lois.
I wish. That's what I hope for. I really hope someone swoops in and is like, no, this show's too good. You can't cancel it. Right? Because that's what you want.
I'd like to see like little allusions to like a Flash on their Earth, a Green Arrow on their Earth, like all these heroes that could be in the Justice League. Also, one thing that Nathan forgot to mention in the trailer for the next episode, Barry says the League.
He does? I totally missed that.
He goes, I'm going to try and contact someone from the League. Can you bring Nathan in for a second?
Yep, let's bring Nathan in. Oh, wait, Nathan's in conversation. So, no.
I don't know if Danny picked up on that either.
Danny, did you pick up on that?
Pick up on what?
In the trailer for the next episode, Barry says, I need to get hold of someone from the League.
Yes.
He does say it then.
So...
we're finally getting a setup for the Justice League. Without
we got set up before, but, you know, all the shows where the characters are from have ended. Supergirl, Black Lightning, you know, Martian Manhunter, and everything. So
and Sears stuck in prison. So
yep, she's never getting out. But yeah, okay. Let's talk about your other topic, Tom. Wait, where is it? Okay, so Tom wants to talk about the future of DCTV. Oh well, we're kind of covering that right now.
So, ideally, you were saying about Wally. I that sounds like a really good idea. Like, how either use Wally or maybe they'll recast Barry, because it sounds like Ezra's in a lot of trouble. Like, they've been in a lot of trouble. So, I don't know how they're going to get out of the trouble that they're in.
Well, I think rather than recasting Barry, I think you just do Wally West. That's what I would do.
Either that or Jesse Quick.
Yeah, or just quick any speedster. You know, I think that's how you get out of it. We don't need to see Barry again. We've seen Barry on TV with Grant, and obviously in the Flash film, we're gonna see Barry, and it's Flashpoint. Like, we're expecting changes. If you know Flashpoint, if you read comics, you're expecting changes. So I think it makes sense. Like, kill Barry off, or at least get rid of him. You know, and bring in a new speedster for the future of the DCEU. That's just my opinion. But yeah, okay. So, any last comments on the topic, Tom?
Well, no, because after this one, I am going because I'm up in the morning. But
Okay, man.
genuinely, like, I'm excited to see the future of DCTV, but I also want to see what they do with the Flash movie. And we've only got what, 3 months till it's out.
Yeah, it's not very long. So yeah, I'm very excited for the film.
I mean, I'll be booking my tickets. I'll be booking my tickets. Will you be booking yours? Oh no, mind you, you'll get press screening anyway.
Yeah.
You'll be getting the press screening. So why am I even saying you're going to see it for anyone else?
Yeah. So I'll tell you guys when I see it, and I'll be sure to make videos on it. All right. So see you later, Tom.
See you later. Bye.
Thank you for joining. See ya. Okay, before we add everyone in, and Kate is here as well, we're going to be answering Gary's super chat. So welcome to the live stream, Gary. Welcome to the live stream, Al Watch, and everyone that has been joining. I see Eric's in the chat. Shout out to Gary for the big super chat. Sorry that I didn't get around to it straight away, Gary. I really appreciate your support and sending in a big super chat like this. So this is Gary's 1999 super chat. Hi, how are you? Is the Flash getting delayed? Are you mad at me? Will Superman get a season 4? And will Barry and Iris, you know what position, and we'll do it in? And will Iris have a you know when they finish? Oh my God, Gary! Classic Gary question. Classic Gary question. I know Nathan's gonna want to chime in on that last bit of the Gary question.
What was that last bit?
No, we're not gonna repeat it on stream. I kind of mumbled over the last bit.
Oh, Gary, what are you like?
Gary, it's just Gary's mind, guys. Gary's mind is, a thing of mystery. So yeah, in terms of this, yeah, like, honestly, Gary, I don't know. Yeah, just maybe you should go watch Superman and Lois. They were, in episode 1, they were getting a bit frisky. Sure, you were very excited by that, Gary. I think the Flash is a little bit more tame. So that's my answer to that part of the question, Gary. But the first part, Flash getting delayed, no. But after this week's episode, next week's episode, so next episode, episode 8, we're going to have a 3-week break. So if you count that as delayed, there you go. We have a 3-week break after episode 8, and then we'll be coming back with the Green Arrow episode, which is going to be hype. And will Superman and Lois get a season 4? Honestly, Gary, I really hope so. And I think most people recognize how good Superman and Lois is. Oh, is it a 2-week break, Flash Freak? I swear I heard 3-week break. Anyway, it's a break. It's like at least 2, maybe 3 weeks. I don't know exactly. But yeah, I think Superman and Lois season 4 is likely, but I have no trust in the CW right now. So that's my answer. Thank you so much for the big super chat, Gary. I really appreciate your support. Okay. Let's move on. We have a couple of member chats here. I can't pull them up on stream because StreamYard, which I use to stream, for some reason doesn't let me. But I'll watch a member of the channel for 10 months. Shout out to I'll watch. He says, hello, Benjamin Cornelius Delgado III. It's been a while. Welcome back to the live stream, I'll watch. Good to have you here. Barry might be talking about his fantasy football league. Yeah, I guess so. Maybe at some point. I'm not sure what that's exactly in reference to, but good to have you back. And yeah, maybe we see Barry doing fantasy football. I've never done that before, but I like football though. And Willie Jackson has been a member for 4 months. So shout out to Willie Jackson. I'm doing good today. Hopefully you guys are doing hopefully you're doing good and everyone else is watching the stream is doing good. So I'm going to go ahead and add all of the members back into the live stream right now. Plus, we have Kater, who is going to chime in. We are going to talk about The Flash and Superman Lois. And we're going to get into that because we got to talk about the Supergirl mini crossover with Nia. And also, we have to discuss The Flash. Superman Lois's ending to do with the cloning or whatever's going on there. Okay, I'm going to add everyone back. And we're going to answer our watchers super chat. But first off, welcome, Kater.
Hey.
Hello, Kater.
Hey, good to see you guys again.
Good to see you again. Let's go ahead and just quickly answer our watchers super chat. Thank you very much for super chat, our watch. And our watch says, "Hey Ben, hope you're well. Thank you. Wondering if you're reading any comics right now. Highly recommend Dark Knights of Steel. That's good. And also, how's your film? Film is coming along, but that's going to be shot in the summer. I'll give you guys more updates soon. Comics right now, I honestly haven't read anything in like a while. Nathan, have you read any comics recently?
I've been reading the Flash comics, and they're actually really good. They're still doing the 1 Minute War, which I tell you what, I'm actually really impressed with. Any Flash fans, I definitely recommend reading that.
Okay.
Although it's a little bit sad in some parts. I haven't read Dark Knights of Steel though. I haven't heard of that yet.
No, that came out a while ago. Dark Knights of Steel. That was wasn't Red Death. No, wait, that was
as in
Dark
DC
Knights
Metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a really good one. I love that issue. I love the issues.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, well, anyway, thank you very much. I'll watch the super chat. Let us know what else you're reading apart from Dark Knights of Steel if you are reading anything. Yeah, so thank you guys, and send in any more super chats you have if you want to get answered by all of us on stream. But we have some topics that we have to discuss, guys. Now that everyone is here together and Kate has joined us, let's talk about Superman and Lois. Who has seen the episode out of you guys?
I've only seen clips, unfortunately.
Well, that's fine. You've seen clips.
Flash. Oh, you mean yesterday's, right?
Yeah, yesterday's episode.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's been a day already. Then.
Yeah.
we've had enough time.
We can talk about it. That's good. All right, so let's talk about it. So we've discussed the Lois stuff before in this stream. So let's hone in on one thing: the ending of the episode. They revealed that the blood that Lois found along with Chrissy was in fact Clark's blood.
What?
Now, you didn't see that clip?
No.
Okay, so they found some blood earlier in the episode inside the place that they break into, this warehouse that's kind of controlled by Bruno Mannheim. And the blood, Lois takes a sample, and then the whole place blows up later. And then basically they analyze it, and the DoD get the results, and it's actually Clark's DNA in the blood. So what do we think is going on, guys? Let us know your theories in the chat. And for those of you guys, so Kater, do you want to start? Are you thinking Superman clone? Are you thinking Superboy? Are you thinking Doomsday? What's going on?
I can't think of a time that they would have been able to get Superman's blood. So the thing I can only speculate right now is maybe like they got Bizarro's body. I'm not sure if Bizarro's blood would be the same as him or anything like that.
Yeah, I heard someone actually talking about that. When I actually questioned that, I think in my review or yesterday, I did say the same thing. I was like, how would, like, we don't remember any time where Superman was like knocked down, and to take Superman's blood, you have to use like a kryptonite weapon or something, right? So I'm thinking maybe it's something to do with Bizarro as well, getting that. Or could it be synthetic in some way? They've somehow recreated it and it's just similar to him. But they say it's a match, though. So, yeah, what, Nathan?
So, in previous seasons, we've seen Superman get hit by kryptonite bullets and weapons.
So you think someone's picked it up randomly?
And then also had to synthesize.
Synthesize.
That's the one.
Cool.
Had to do that. Had to make more from that little sample.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, there's a train going past.
I thought someone was trying to break in for a minute.
Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, so that actually makes a lot of sense because we've seen Clark get stabbed by kryptonite knives by the Stranger, which was John Henry Irons. We've seen him get shot by kryptonite bullets by the military.
Yeah.
And each time he's ripped it out, and we've seen blood come out.
Okay,
And
so you're thinking maybe at one of those scenes in the past, someone has, whether it's Bruno Mannheim's guys or Lex Luthor's guys, they've gone in and they've swept the scene, taken Superman's blood, and they've just been storing and using it for their experiments this whole time. I think that's possible. Kato, what do you think? You think that's possible?
I don't know. My only theory is the Bizarro one. I don't know
Yeah.
about synthesizing.
Okay, that's good.
I think
Flash
that is
Freak?
possible as well.
Flash Freak? What are you thinking?
Sorry, what was that?
So what are you thinking about Superman's blood? Do you think how do they get it?
I was honestly kind of predicting something like that would happen. Because he is Kryptonian, and I think didn't they do something similar to that in Smallville with his blood?
It's true,
I think
yeah.
they did.
I was thinking that.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's obviously
shall I
where
refresh
maybe
you on that?
yeah. They could probably tie
Let
Lex
me think.
Luthor in that way too.
Yeah, I think that they might tie in Lex Luthor. Nathan, what were you about to say?
In Smallville, they one time when Clark was ill, he was vulnerable. A doctor took some of Clark's bloods, 2 vials of it. One of which was used to make a healing serum that could bring people back to life for a short amount of time. And the other one was used to make Superboy. So, obviously, Lex was planning to use that as a way of becoming Super, but then he became Superboy. So, and again, even in Smallville, they had to synthesize more blood from just a little bit, so it wasn't always fully his blood. And
yeah, so that's what I was saying with the synthesizing. Like, what happens if they got like a little bit of his blood and then they've synthesized it and they've recreated it, and that's why their experiments aren't necessarily going exactly right.
And also, it brought that guy back to life as well.
Yeah, because
which
somehow
Kryptonians can do.
Yeah, so his DNA has been fusing with human DNA, and that's just not a normal reaction. Obviously, we've seen similar stuff with X-Kryptonite, but I think this is a different thing. They're not going to copy it. They're going to do something different. Okay, guys, so let's talk about this. What do you think they're actually doing? Are we just seeing experiments on random people? What is Bruno Mannheim's bigger end game here? Is he trying to create maybe a clone or, a Superboy figure to take on Superman? Or are we thinking it's more of a personal thing? I think it's more of a personal thing. And I think they're experimenting to try and maybe make himself powerful, just like Superman. Or maybe it's a link to somehow Lex Luthor. We'll have to wait and see as to what's going on. But what's your theories right now? I've heard a lot of people talking about maybe this could lead to Doomsday coming if the experiment goes wrong, because Doomsday was created as a science experiment. And we know there's been some teasers about maybe Doomsday coming. Obviously, we got the cop-out last season when it was Bizarro, not Doomsday. But what happens if these experiments go wrong and totally wrong?
Wouldn't it be hilarious if turns out Doomsday was right next to Bizarro in that cave?
Yeah, well, they've been shut down now, so.
Well, I have an interesting theory. What if Clark goes to Bruno, or maybe even Lois goes to Bruno and maybe uses that blood? Well, I guess Superman could just do it right there too. Tries to give Lois his blood to maybe heal the cancer.
Well, that's a similar thing I came up with.
Yeah, so we have to talk about that as well, because we've been discussing since the big reveal of Lois. Obviously, this is a thing that Superman can't do anything about, because it's just a natural human thing that sadly happens to some people. So he's feeling hopeless, and we're like, okay, this is a TV show. It's got Lois in the title. They're not going to kill off Lois, right? So what do? Well, we've got these experiments going on, and they've just brought someone back to life. So what's to say it can't cure cancer? So I'm pretty sure, it could be Superman, but I don't think he would force that on Lois. And I don't think Lois would actively try and take that. I think it's going to be Lois gets too close, and Lois is a new test subject, and that cures her inevitably.
I mean, I think it's that same, but I don't think they'll use Clark's pure Kryptonian blood, because as we've seen, it is very unstable in a human being. And I think, obviously, she's given birth to two kind of
half Kryptonian,
hybrids. And so we know that obviously Jordan is half Kryptonian, half human, so his blood is perfect. So what if they take Jordan, get the blood from him, and sympathize it with whatever they're doing with the other bloods?
That actually makes a lot of sense. That's much more safe, because it's already a mix of a human and a Kryptonian,
and then, what if when they do that, Lois turns into Doomsday?
Don't you mean the Devastator?
Lois turning into Doomsday.
As much as that would be funny to watch.
I mean, maybe it's Bruno Mannheim that turns into Doomsday. Like, it could be.
I would love to see that.
That could be what's happening. I don't think he's actively trying to turn into Doomsday. It might just be things go south, and they decide, okay, like, I'm just going to use it on myself, and it goes totally wrong. He turns into Doomsday. Spikes starts coming out of him, and he goes, and he becomes Doomsday.
Was that your bones breathing?
That was my bones just like cracking. My spikes going. Stuff like that. But yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm looking forward to seeing the way Superman Lois going right now. Eric in the chat says Lois doesn't turn into Doomsday. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Who knows? Maybe
funny enough, she does turn into Doomsday in the comics, thanks to the Devastator. So, and that was because of a Doomsday virus.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think for the Superman stuff, like the fact that he's all powerful but he can't save her, I wish that there would be something like he's tempted to do something that's against his values or something just to save Lois. That he's like struggling with this to be, that he might like attempt to sell his soul just to save Lois. To be conflicted about that would be an interesting. But I mean, I guess he has been in the past that he has experienced something like this, with the miscarriage with Lois, that she had to deal with something like that. He couldn't also control anything, save her in that way either. So, because right now, everything that Superman does, he's never really gone against his values, right? So I want him to kind of like struggle with that a little bit. Yeah,
it's similar to what Barry went through when Iris was going to die. That desperation to try and save them, even if it hurts them as well. Obviously, we've seen Barry do that in season 3 with Iris. The stupidity of proposing because she wasn't proposed to in the future version. So I think I do actually agree that maybe in a desperate act, there's just like that moment of little bit of humanity that Clark has always gained from being by Martha and Jonathan. He sees a vial of that stuff, and he takes it and offers it to Lois, and she's like, no, I don't want to become one of those beings and be all powerful and, you know, just as a chance it could heal me, because they don't know whether it could heal cancer. It may bring her back from death, but it may not heal her.
Yeah.
So
I don't want him to go full Anakin. You know, he's having those dreams. You know, like it reminds me of Anakin having those dreams and then losing Padme, and Clark's also having the same kind of dream.
Kids, though.
Imagine Superman goes Anakin. He's like turns to the dark side.
Well, the Bizarro version was kind of
you were the chosen one.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, this is good. Looking forward to it. Okay, so let's talk about The Flash. So has everyone seen episode 7 of The Flash? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So also I wanted to just mention that Grant has been good. He just did an interview on Today. I don't know if
I watched it.
Yeah, so basically this interview he did, that I put it in the chat if anyone wants to go ahead and watch it. There's not much that you can like properly break down in it, but it's cool that he's going around. Melissa in the final season of Supergirl did the same. She went to the Jimmy Fallon show, I think it was. So yeah, he's starting to promote, you know, the final season of The Flash, which is kind of cool, and the Flash ending. But in regards to The Flash, let's talk about this week's episode, and this will be our last topic of today. So I want to remind you guys who are in the live chat with us, if you send in any final super chats, please be sure to do them now before the end of the stream. And yeah, so The Flash last night was, in my opinion, really good. I know some people didn't like it as much, and I understand that it's an interlude and people just get very annoyed when The Flash isn't in it enough, and I understand that. Like, I kind of want him to be in it more, right? I agree, but I think this episode, and I said this last night with Flashverse on his stream, that I think this was actually a kind of vital episode for Iris. It actually developed her character, and I think that's what interlude episodes should be about. Should be about developing characters rather than being about Becky, you know, like someone that we don't care about, you know, like last episode before, obviously last night's episode. And so yeah, I thought this episode was really good. I love seeing Dreamer back. Very exciting to see Nicole Main's back, as I'm a big fan. What did you guys think of it? What did you think of the episode, Kato? You go first.
Yeah, it was an alright episode. I wasn't as annoyed as most people. Like, I'm not a biggest Supergirl fan either, but I thought it was a great kind of way to explore what kind of Iris is kind of struggling with. Maybe some of the personal issues or the imposter syndrome, or being fake, or only having importance because she's the Flash's wife or something. You know, some of those things that you explore in, because, you know, people do have dreams, stuff like that, and then things that you didn't think that you thought that you had those issues resolved already, they actually come up in your dreams, and you figure out that you still haven't resolved those issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a great way for Iris to be developing for character development for her.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good episode for Iris, and like you said, she's dealing with these kind of emotions that she didn't want to tackle, and just I think it was a good way to incorporate Nia into it. Like, it actually just all made sense. It wasn't like she popped up out of nowhere. Yes, in the first stream she kind of popped up out of nowhere, but at the end of the day, it made sense by the end of the episode. So yeah,
because I thought that Iris resolved some of these things, because, you know, when she was talking to Keon, and Keon was talking about the fact that she didn't have power, so she didn't have anything to contribute to the Team Flash. Iris was talking about how she doesn't have meta powers, but she still has her own way of contributing to, you know, Team Flash. You know, so I think she kind of has resolved her little thing that she's not a metahuman, but maybe she still has issues that she needs to resolve as far as being, you know, Barry's wife, and being overshadowed by him.
Yeah, and knowing about the future, you know, in this case, it was about, you know, the Pulitzer, and feeling that, oh, maybe I don't deserve this because I already knew this was going to happen or something. So
yeah, it's almost like a legacy. If your parents are really, really like important people and they accomplished a lot of things, and then that overshadows you, and you have the expectations to be able to meet those. You know?
Yeah. Flash Freak, what did you think of last night's episode?
I did not like it. I thought it was only 0.0000001% better than last episode.
What? Are you serious?
There was only a couple things I
you
liked.
just slightly prefer it than the Becky Sharp episode.
Yeah.
That was like one of the worst episodes I've seen.
It was and Lance has said this, but it's very true that it's basically a redo of the duet episode from season 3.
Oh, it is. It is like it's the same concept going into a different world, into their minds as they're incapacitated. But we've seen that before on other shows. So yeah, it's not a new concept, but it's not a bad concept.
Thing. And I said this about last episode. If this wasn't in the final season, I would be fine. But this is the final season.
However, I disagree because yes, it's the final season, but this is the way that Eric Wallace is doing it, and he's making sure there's 3 interlude episodes. And I feel this was a better use of an interlude episode because you developed the second main character in the show, which is Iris. So I feel like it's important. I get that it's annoying that it's the final season and the focus isn't necessarily on Barry, but at least it was on Iris, right? It's not Becky Sharp, right?
Okay, that would be one good thing about this episode. Sure, it did develop Iris a little bit. It was cool to see Nia again.
Yeah.
The VFX in this episode was very good. It was way better than like Neon Supergirl, how we saw her powers.
Yeah, it looked cool.
It was kind of cool to see the original Dreamer. And the final thing I liked is it was very funny to see Mike get chewed out in front of everyone at the bar.
Yeah.
Because I am, just a side note, I am very glad Mike is leaving. Because
he's coming back though.
Yeah, he's not leaving.
Yes? Oh no, he's a series regular, isn't he? Right?
Regular.
Oh,
yeah, we've seen him in set photos. Yeah, we've seen him in set photos in the final battles and stuff.
But we'd have to remember, isn't Keone technically only like 3 months old or
3 weeks
something?
old.
Yeah.
And Mike is having sex dreams with her. It's
not S streams, but kissing. He's just
Anyway, Nathan, thoughts on the episode? What did you think of the episode?
I really liked it. I give it a strong 8 out of 10.
I gave it 8.5, so
wow.
I give it a 5.
I honestly, because one of the things I always wondered was, where did it all originate from with Dreamer? Where did it come from? Who was the first Dreamer? And they did hint at it in Supergirl.
Yeah.
And the fact that we all assumed, even Dreamer did at the beginning, that this person in the hood was a villain.
Yeah. we all assumed they were some killer trying to.
And the fact that she was looking for this ancestral person anyway, and that she was found by this person, and then was tested by it. And, I think that was actually a really good twist that, there is no villain of the story this time. It's a trial story. It's about people finding what they're looking for in life instead of what they think they're trying to do the right thing. And I think it is I think it was a damn good episode. I think, to be honest, didn't care about the Mark stuff. I know that I'm sorry. It's just
I don't care about the Mark stuff. That was why it wasn't a higher rating for me. Like, I really enjoyed the episode, but if I rewatch, I'm gonna be ignoring that stuff.
Yeah, I literally skip scenes that I just don't care about. And I skipped those scenes every time. And, I know I can never get a name right.
Keone.
Her end scene, though, I did like that bit. That was really
Mhm.
good. You know, that suddenly she doesn't have any hope, and then suddenly she's frozen the entire table, and everyone tips out their glass, and everything's turned to liquids or turned
Mhm.
to ice cubes. I loved that because that's like a classic thing. Like, you know, something turns to ice, you immediately go, what? So the fact that, you know, they just suddenly did the, you know, how is she doing this? It, you know, it's, I like the mystery.
Yeah.
But I don't, I'm dreading how it's going to come out at the end. I am really dreading it. And
Yeah, fair enough.
you know, how the hell they answer about Caitlin, you know. I miss Caitlin.
Yeah, so I mean, what were you gonna say, Kater?
So I think, have you seen those like Stargirl episodes where they're going to Shadowlands and stuff like that, and it's kind of a dream world where they're trying to figure out some of their stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of reminds the same thing, but what are the issues that I'm not versed in Supergirl as much, you know, I'm not like an expert. I kind of stopped watching it in between somewhere. So
Yeah.
what are the issues that Dreamer has to resolve, you know, within her dreams that
Well,
the issues?
basically, she was given her powers. It was kind of like a generational thing that all the women in their family would get it generation after generation. It happened to go to Nia. There was some controversy with her sister. So, but that doesn't really matter. So what she's dealing with here, but you know, after the Supergirl finale is, she is powerful. She in the last season of Supergirl, she was able to use her powers in different ways and more powerful ways. But she hasn't been able to fully master her powers because she hasn't really had the guidance. Her mum died. So it's pretty much been just her by herself working alongside Team Supergirl, and they've been the ones to help her, or she's been able to go into the dream realm. So I think where we pick up is she's been going into the dream realm in order to try and advance herself, but has been blocked by this figure who we find out is the original dreamer. So that's kind of what's up. And now they're going to teach her even more. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, we have one final super chat from Our Watch. Thank you very much, Our Watch, for the second super chat. He says, "See you, Ben. See you later, Our Watch. Excited for Monday. Hope a Blue Beetle trailer does drop. Otherwise, I'll be disappointed. Check your Twitter DM. Sure. I'll check that afterwards. What's Monday? Is there supposed to be a Blue Beetle?
Daniel OPK on Twitter, who's been pretty reliable in the past, has said there's one dropping on Monday, and it will be like 2.5 minutes long.
Hey, interesting. Yeah, well, that makes sense. It's coming out this year. I trust Daniel. I know Daniel. I've worked. I actually made some videos for him. So yeah, interesting. I hope we see a Blue Beetle trailer. I'm looking forward to the film. I'm a big fan of the character, especially a big fan from Young Justice. I thought, you know, he was a cool character. But yeah, thank you very much for the super chat, I'll watch. I appreciate it.
Yeah, the only Blue Beetle I know is from Smallville, and Injustice 2, the game, but and I loved them in Smallville. So
I mean,
I can't wait to see him in the movie.
Smallville's Blue Beetle was a bit very bulky, and you could tell it was rushed a little bit.
It was,
especially because of Booster Gold, being in the same episodes. But I love the Blue Beetle stuff in Young Justice. That was one of my favorite storylines. Was Blue Beetle, Green Beetle, Black Beetle. Hell, I think there's even a Gold Beetle now. But I mean, I love that. There is a lot of Beetles, and I'm not sure about the band either.
But yeah, hopefully we get to see it. But yeah, I think that pretty much does it for this live stream, guys. Thank you to everyone that's been watching with us and, you know, interacting in the chat. Plus all of you guys who have been supporting and sending in super chats. I appreciate it. And yeah, shout out to the members and for joining on this stream. It's been a good one. We had a lot of stuff to discuss. Hopefully you guys are excited for next week's episodes of The Flash and Superman Lois, plus Gotham Knights. If you watch it, I'm still behind. So yeah, I don't know much about Gotham Knights right now.
Yeah, it's all right.
I think a lot. Have you watched all the episodes, Kaiten?
Yeah. It's all right. It's a show.
Okay,
it's not good. It's not bad.
It's a TV show. All right. I can give reviews. We'll see when I get to catch up on it. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.